are set up here on Le Mans. Drivers are getting their kart assignments right now. They are going to go out. They're going to do a few warm-up heats just to get the tires warm, not many laps. Then we will start with our pre-final B. On the inside, we have Alex. Outside, we have Jason. Then we have Matthew Pickle, Austin Partolo, Elise, Colin, Brad, Joe, finishing up with Kyle Moore. And then for the A, immediately after that, you have Tony, Aaron, Caleb, Jonathan, Nate, Teddy, Brandon, CJ, and Aiden. We saw a lot of great passing, get set up back here in the dual hairpins, finished over here in the last hairpin in the long straight. We also saw a lot of impacts back there in the chicane. With everybody getting a little bit more aggressive, what do you expect to see?
I think we're going to see some more side-by-side racing down this fast straightaway. And, I mean, that's their really good opportunity. Guys that are good and can cut to the inside, at least especially as good at that, on this track, are going to be able to make some movements today, I believe. But it takes a whole lap to set that up.
Definitely. But we saw a lot of karts hopping coming into these dual hairpins. Do you think that affected them at all, or do you think that just is something they're going to have to get used to?
Some of the lighter drivers experience that a little more than anybody else, and it does set them off, so they're a little bit off of their time, and they're setting up those corners. And that's really where you have to be good, is in the first corners going in and out of the switchbacks is where the time is made to where you can get alongside coming down this straightaway.
Okay.
So you have to set that pass up almost a full lap ahead.
Well, we just got our final notification from our final. Matthew and Alex will be switching positions. So Alex will have finished in front of Matthew. I don't remember exactly where they finished. I believe it was third and fourth.
Third and fourth, yeah.
So Matthew goes back to fourth. Alex retains the third position, so a lot of points going to both drivers. Unfortunately, it went the good way for one driver, the bad way for another.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. You can't always be happy, but sometimes you just have to go with the rules and the situation, and they're very fair. I mean, to even take that long to look at it and go back and review it
was close.
Yeah, yeah, that means it was a tough decision. And that's luckily for the driver who lost points on that. It was on that side and not over here on Le Mans.
Correct.
Because the points get pretty high over here.
Well, that, and usually if there's I have to give this position back, there's a lot of people lined up to freight train you.
Right.
You can go from second to last pretty quickly if the whole field is lined up behind them.
I'd definitely rather have it made post-race than on the track, because
Definitely.
There's a good opportunity to lose some spots there.
And also that Alex didn't slide back 2, 3, 4 positions from whatever the judges deemed being the illegal contact.
Right.
Because finishing behind him is even more critical in that position.
Right. So we're going to do some warm-up laps, get the karts warmed up, tires warmed up, track warmed up a little bit, get some rubber down in the corners where it needs to be. Drivers will be concentrating on figuring out their best lines, which aren't always the same for everyone. And we have a little better view over here, and it's not quite as noisy over here, so it'll be a little bit better on our end. I heard next year we're going upstairs. Woo! Then we can say sending it back up to you.
Yeah, we get the bird's eye view next year.
And then we're going to need an on-track commentator. I'm going to put my application in for that.
You know, it's a good thing the staff came in early. That hairpin or the chicane back there is taking a beating all weekend long. They actually had some track damage that needed to be replaced on the entry to the chicane. The drivers are showing it no mercy right out of the gate.
Right. Yeah, they took the shine right off of it, I'm sure. I notice the drivers are working on multiple lines, so they have an option. So they've got some experience with that option. You can see they're really concentrating on that. There's a name I don't recognize, Sir Doyle.
Sir Doyle, he's an employee.
He's an employee warming up a cart?
He's out there just to make sure that all the carts that we use today are warm. No one's getting a cold cart. Everything's starting fair and even.
Got my cart, number 6.
Yeah.
Had a chance to talk to some of the parents. Every one of them complimented on how fair everything has been. The one that might want to come talk to me again might be Alex's family, and those two, I'd like to get with them again. But they all felt it was very fair. The judging was good. They loved the facility, thought the carts were great. A little different than the carts are in their centers typically. Some of them don't have the Superleggero carts yet, but they all felt that was a good experience for their drivers.
Well, I think all of the racing, while we talked about it being long days, ultimately ends up being more fair because everybody has so many opportunities to get better, so many opportunities to improve, and everybody gets to race against one another. There was no group that didn't see another group. Everybody got to race each other. So I don't think it can get much fairer than this. I think the format's great. What Dakota and his team have come up with really works. Outside of it being a long day of racing, everything is in great shape for today coming into the finals. I
think the amount of racing makes it even more critical for the drivers to have their A game here. You can get lucky, maybe get the kart that you personally like, but when you go 16, 32, 40 races, it's not always about the kart and the driver. Sometimes it's about the physical shape and keeping your head in the game, not giving up when you get a bad race or you get a bad pick. You don't like that kart specifically, but that hasn't been the case. As you said, there's only been 3 kart changes. That really speaks for the level of the karts.
Well, I think the conditioning that you talked about really came into play because a lot of drivers were complaining about blisters on their hand. They had to go get their hands wrapped, get more padded gloves. It was a long day of racing, but we never saw the competition die out at all. So they just sucked up the pain that they had, and they just handled their business.
Yeah, I think if you're racing enough to get blisters, that's a lot of racing. Really respectable times across the board up there.
We're about half a second off of qualifying times.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see once they start rubbing each other, jockeying for position, if those times get faster, if they stay roughly the same. Granted, the track's cold, tires are cold.
Yeah, people don't believe the track really warms up, but it really does.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It makes a big difference.
Well, they saw it in qualifying. The first session out, you were running high 21s. By the last session out, they were running low 21s. So there was a massive change just for every driver. It wasn't just one driver saw a pickup. Every driver saw a pickup throughout the day. So the tires definitely get warm. The track warms up. Completely alters the way the karts handle. All right, so that was our first group of practice racing. We have another one in our final practice race, getting ready to line up and go out there, get the other karts warmed up.
Oh, mostly smiles.
Just practice.
Yeah. I love all the T-shirt colors. That was a great idea. Whoever came up with that was really thinking. The first year when we talked about it, I was like, wow, they're going to have 27 different, whatever it was, colors of T-shirts. That can't be. It is possible, apparently. And it always makes it very, you can know who to root for.
We definitely had to get creative to make sure that we got shades that were different enough to be able to visually stand out for the people at home, watching at home. You can keep up with your driver based on their T-shirt color. A lot of people do it on their helmet, but some helmets, specifically, I'll call out Colin Grace's helmet. Black and green. It's really hard to keep up with that on camera sometimes. So that bright T-shirt, everybody at home's able to see it, know where he's at, and follow their favorite drivers. I didn't know there were that many colors in the color wheel until we
know.
started trying to find
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Yeah, Gildan went all out on that one. I imagine those are Gildan shirts. I'm not sure, but they have the most colors typically when I look at different things. Ends up being Gildan typically.
All right, we are waiting on drivers to all get in their carts.
Got some public races going on the other side. That's always fun to watch.
Absolutely. Nothing like a Saturday morning $10,000 check giveaway happening to draw some attention in.
I can't wait to see who gets it, and I love the celebration. Oh my gosh, it's amazing just the job that the group does here. It's just always, I mean, it is very, very special. Oh, somebody says a shout out. Speaking of the shirts, give them a couple shirts next year. Can't imagine how they smell from all this racing. Yeah, you know, I guess that is a consideration.
Well, I don't think we've reused shirts yet, but ew. That's all I can think.
Yeah. Well, they're good breathable material, that's for sure. It's the helmets that get me.
Who was last? Yeah, our employee's upset that he got outrun by some of the best
Is this our employee here?
This is Sir Doyle.
Sir Doyle.
No, not the employee. The last place employee.
He had kart 6. I was rooting for you out there. I'm taking it out. Taking kart 6 out. Well, there we go. So we evaluated kart 6 and decided that it was not going to make the cut for today. Just barely. So always changing them up, always trying to make it as close as possible.
Matthew Pickle to the helmet area.
Matthew, the Pickle.
Practice race.
Waiting on the
Pickle
Pickle
don't need no practice.
No. Pickle's coming in nice and crisp
That was
and
a
fresh.
double negative, so he really does need it. Yeah, he's crispy and fresh. Oh, boy. I think we went through all the Pickle jokes yesterday.
I don't sell us short. We'll come up with another one.
Yeah, there probably is another one out there. He's slicing through the field. I don't know if we used that one.
Like bread and butter.
Like bread and butter. There you go. There you go.
I don't know what it is, but I do love bread and butter pickles. They just make a burger
they're pretty good.
that much better.
Yeah.
That's a good tie-in. We had an interview with Alex yesterday, at which point he said he was from Mars. So he also likes meaty hamburgers, just meat with a lot of bacon. So maybe he's the Martian meat man, and we can tie them all together.
Nice. There you go. There you go. Makes it very interesting when you talk to some of the drivers and their motivations and reasons for doing things.
Yeah, some of our league winner interviews that we do at the locations at the end of the league season get pretty interesting. And Alex's interview ended with, you heard it here first, folks. He's a meat man.
Yeah. Now we got down to the meat of it. We're a green flag situation under practice. Warming up the track, warming up the tires, getting the drivers to get a feel. It's hard to come off the bench and just off the couch, as they say. Jump right in and go. So we get their heart rates up a little bit. And then we'll be ready to go racing. Got a lot of former racers in the chat. So that's good to see that past racers have interest to watch and see what's going on.
it just goes to show you, you got to put in the practice time. You have to have the want to go out, win your leagues, earn those playoff points, get into our championship, earn your way here. You know, Aaron missed it the second year because he thought, oh, I'm a champion, I could just show up and be there, and he wasn't.
Right.
We missed him the second year. In the third year, he came back, he put in the practice, he was there. This year, put in the practice, he's here. Running towards the top, you know, not far out of the points.
And we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but each year the competition gets stiffer, tougher and tougher. I've got guys who 8 years ago racing my league that they may have won the league 2 or 3 times in a row. They moved on to car racing or sprint cars or some type of dirt track, kart racing. Then they come back and race the league. They aren't able to make the A heat. You know, they assume they're going to be right at the top. So every year our league has stepped it up. Joe, my driver that's here today, is a good example of that. He's been racing with us since he was in junior karts. And he having a little tougher time in the league sometimes. He still imagines somehow possibility he comes out on top.
Did I hear you right that you've been with Joe since he was racing junior karts?
Yeah, Joe started with us.
Was he still a giant?
He's a giant now. Yeah.
George into the eliminator for the next Monaco race, heat number 156. Once again, George, David, Jason into the eliminator for the Monaco heat number 156.
Got a couple laps left here and practice and warm up. Times are pretty consistent to the last heat. They're getting a little quicker. You see some guys, some racers prefer this track over on this side. Some prefer the other side. All right, second practice is done. I don't know if we have another practice going or are we lining up to race?
Nope, this is it. This is lining up. Both groups got to practice. Got that awesome camera angle of the knee and the floor there.
I saw that. I can imagine whose camera that was.
Oh, I don't have to guess at all. I know exactly what it was. But again, you know, we have camera people everywhere, constantly having to reset after the races, make sure they're giving you guys the best shot. So,
and you don't imagine that you're going to be the camera that goes live all of a sudden.
Nope, you just get surprised. That's the luck of the draw.
I think we should set it up so they get a little shock when their camera comes on, so they know, oh, my camera's on.
Oh, that would make for an interesting one.
AEKC racers, AEKC racers, please report to the pit quickly before we start our pre-finals. Thank you.
Get everybody situated. Go over expectations for this set of pre-finals over on Le Mans.
One thing I've noticed, we haven't had the use brake sign come out. Don't think we've needed that at all.
No, just the nice don't hit walls.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been using the walls as brakes.
Yeah. That's one thing with the general public that always gets me is the once in a while you get a driver that thinks that the track's going to slow them down and not the brakes. They're like, I don't need the brakes. I don't need no stinking brakes.
Yeah, bam, bam, bam,
And then,
bam.
yeah, pretty soon they're backwards on the track. And
Their heads ragdolling around.
yeah, and they're wondering why they didn't use the brakes.
All
Oh,
these
they're getting in the carts.
And barriers are the safest thing you can find in North America, Europe, everywhere, really.
Yeah.
You're still going to feel it when you hit something.
Oh, yeah. Those G's do transfer.
Quickly. Always remember, it's not the speed that kills you, it's the sudden stop.
The sudden stop. Yeah. Having a little meeting before we go out on the track.
So we are lining up the B pre-final. So the lineup for this is going to be Alex, Jason, Matthew, Austin, Elise, Colin, Brad, Joe, and Kyle is the B final. And after that, we will line up the A pre-final and then set our final field from there for both groups. We will have to wait on the officials to put those groups together for us and provide us with the listing of who goes where. Have you ever had to sneeze and it doesn't come out and then it feels like your face is on fire?
I was with you up to the fire part.
Ah,
I've never had the face on fire.
makes me almost want to cry. It just burns.
Yeah, that sneeze thing is not good in the booth.
No.
We don't have the cough button, you know.
To mute yourself real quick.
Yeah, the cough button.
As you spray paint everything beside you.
Yeah. I am enjoying it being on Saturday, the finals, instead of Sunday, personally. You know, gives everybody a chance to get back home
and rest.
rest a little bit.
Instead of going right back into your work week or school week. Just get a chance to breathe. Got a sword fight in the pit between Jason and Brandon.
Yeah.
Imaginary sword fight, but still interesting nonetheless.
Not something you see at the races very often.
No, but a little lighthearted action every now and then never hurt
sure.
anybody.
Well, those Chargers are getting a workout this week. That's for sure.
And it's still impressive that we've been able to get carts out consistently.
Yeah.
You know, 20, 30 seconds in between heats.
Yeah.
It's only taking us so long today because we want to make sure that we're reviewing everything because of the massive point implications going into the finals.
Can you go over the points with us for the finals?
Yes.
And pre-finals?
So currently,
how many points per position here?
I believe the pre-finals is 100 and the finals is 500. And then it works its way down from there. But I can also go over the points as they sit since the results are official from Monaco. Currently, as we sit, Tony Patterson in first place, Teddy Oates in second place, Nate Groh in third place, CJ Arabia after that, Jonathan Rumpel, Aaron Luke Ramos, Brandon Pavo, Caleb Koskov, Jason Anderson, Elise Piety, Alex Passarino, Aiden LaBelle, Matthew Pickle, Austin Partalope, Colin Grace, Kyle Moore, Joe Dombrowski, and Brad Paquette wind out the field. Again, we did lose Bailey to a medical situation last night, so he couldn't be here today to finish everything out. You know, we wish him the best. Hope everything goes well, and hopefully he's able to return next year. But yeah, points are still extremely tight. Separating first and second is 27 points.
We need James in here, the mathematician. Boy, he was nailing those points gaps.
I'm good for
instantly.
him.
Instantly, I was like, geez, does it say? I looked over it. Well, he's doing that in his head.
No,
so.
he's doing it in his head. Good for him. I am not that guy.
Yeah, me either. I'm a good estimator.
Yeah, we'll just say 30 points. And be good with it.
Yeah, 27, 30, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we'll just wing it. And 27 is probably wrong, but again, we're just gonna wing it.
Carry the one, all that stuff. Pi r square. My dad used to say that when I was a kid. One time I said pi r not square, pi r round, and
Pi r round.
that was not a good answer
and
to that question.
Pi r delicious.
And he said, "You know what else is round? A roundhouse." And that's when I learned what a roundhouse was when you get punched.
I thought a roundhouse was a kick. I thought your dad kicked you. I was like, wow.
Maybe it is, but
You don't remember?
He made it a swing. It's all good though, Dad. My dad's nickname's Rowdy, and there's a reason. He's 88 and he's still rowdy.
That's what I aspire to be when I'm old. Just that
Yeah.
crotchety guy that walks around swatting people.
Exactly. His license plate's Rowdy 6. And that's not where I got the number 6. I think he picked it up from me, actually.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. It's his license plate. Everybody knows him as Rowdy.
Every dad shows love in his own unique way.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Always happy to spend time with him.
Speaking of dads and parents, there's great show of support here. People in attendance, a lot of family members. Everybody's cheering each other on. Everybody's giving that emotional support and that pick me up when they have a bad race. And even the families are talking to one another and enjoying the company. So, it's fantastic that these racers are able to come here and share that moment with their families, their parents. Memories are made every day.
Yeah. It's a nice thing about karting. You can do it at basically any age, typically around 6 years old. We had a 100th birthday at our karting center. The gentleman, he races with us every year at least a couple times. Celebrated his 100th birthday with us, and that's saying something.
Absolutely.
We've got a guy that's in his 80s who was a good sprint car driver back in the 60s and 70s. And he's in his 80s now. He comes and races with his grandkids and great-grandkids.
Nothing's like a sprint car. It's a death missile with a bar stool.
Yeah, you're sitting on a toilet, basically,
Yep.
with a throttle under your heel.
And no way to stop it.
No
except
clutch.
for hitting the wall.
You can't. They push start you, and away you go. Ask Joey Dombrowski about it. He got to race one.
Is he tall? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's short enough to fit in one, or did they have to
Well,
stretch it?
Our winner of our AEKC league, which was Joe this year. Well, he actually was second, but the winner couldn't make it here. But Joe got the opportunity to race. Actually, it was the league before, to race a sprint car at Knoxville, the sprint car capital of the world, in Lytton Jeffrey, who makes the wings for a good percentage of the sprint cars, and he's a world outlaw racer. And one of our league racers, he put him in his car.
That's fantastic. It's
Great opportunity.
It's also interesting how those cars work. Just put a giant rear tire, jack the stagger through the roof, and hope for the best.
And put a big wing on it so you can't see anything out the right side. And there's so many different ways. And just like the karting here, there's inside lines, outside lines. You get those guys in sprint cars that can run the bank and the cushion, up on the top. And
it's funny
amazing.
that those cars, with the amount of downforce they have, are able to slide through the corners so almost gracefully, like a ballerina.
Yeah. It's a dance. It's
then,
absolutely a dance.
And then you get the lunatics that take the wing off the top and say, let's go for a ride and wing it.
One night, I was coming back from Knoxville, and there was a car in front of us, and I was like, what is that orange glow? And this has been 25, 30, 40 years ago now. It was in the 80s. And we get up to it. It was an open trailer, and the driver had forgot to put his wing down. And his car on the open trailer created enough downforce that the bearings were red hot. It was putting enough pressure on the bearings. That's when I learned about how much force those wings really have in downforce. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And when you get it on a nice, cool, winter day starting out the season and you see the vortices come off the corners.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing, yeah. Looks like a fighter jet out there.
All right, we are pulling the B pre-final out onto the track now. They are going to get their warm-up lap and pull around to the back straightaway to get gridded. All of our race officials are making their way out to the track now to take care of that. I'm lucky enough to be close enough to Volusia Speedway, the world's fastest half mile,
Yeah.
and see the monstrous, just the fantastic racing that the World Outlaws bring once a year down there, and it's just
Is that Volusia, you said?
Volusia.
Nice. Nice. They named the track so good they named a motorcycle after it.
There you go.
Right, Suzuki?
Well, maybe, I don't know which came first. Maybe that's something I Googled
The
before
track
next time.
definitely came first.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, before the motorcycle.
But some of the greatest racing I've watched there at Volusia. Just fantastic racing.
Yeah. I'm right next to Knoxville, and it's just amazing to get to go watch the races there. Everybody has their track, and they're all good.
My only bucket list track that I have is I've got to go to Bristol for the night race. I have to.
Yeah, that would be
Some point
great.
in my life, I have to.
Yeah.
Call for junior heat 183. I need Keon, Aiden, and Elia to the helmet area for your race immediately. Once again, call for Keon, Aiden, and Elia immediately to the helmet area.
Well, that was intrusive. Okay, we've got them lined up. I'm sure you can see that on the, nice shot of the elbow there. They're lined up. Get that starting light going up. So we're going to have our first race on Le Mans. B pre-final. Lights are going on. And they're underway.
And everybody got out?
Oh boy, got to move trying to take the lead.
Alex got a decent start, but so did Jason and Matthew is going to start putting the pressure on Jason coming out of the chicane. Austin is now putting pressure on Matthew since he got bunched up behind Jason.
All right, we're going to complete lap 1. Alex has the lead. Jason's not too far behind, and Matthew and Austin are right there. Officials have the no bumping out.
You had to say it. We haven't seen the no bumping sign, and then they bring it out lap 1.
There it is, lap 1. People running some alternate lines through the switchback.
Elise is working on Austin pretty good now that she's caught up.
Track gets a little bit warmer. I predict we'll see some people try to duck to the inside down that fast straightaway and go make the track as short as possible.
Once all the tires get nice and hot and they get sticky, it's going to make that move a lot easier.
The trick to it is, through that switchback, you want to be close, but not so close you make contact. You got to leave yourself a little bit of room to accelerate through that faster than the person in front of you. And that's where you're going to make up your time to get side by side down this front straight.
But Alex has definitely stepped out to a sizable lead over these other drivers, and Matt is back on Jason's back bumper, pressuring him again.
Oh, here it
He
goes.
steps to the inside.
Almost. Matthew's going to try that again the next lap. Getting a little help from behind, as we'll say. I think Matthew's going to be able to get that done. Caused Jason to run a defensive line. That's costing Jason some time.
Ooh, what a shot from Austin.
Austin ducked inside, takes over the third position. That was a nice pass.
We see the officials conversing about it a little bit right now.
Looks like they might make him give it back. Not sure.
Oh man, Matthew opened up her door for Elise, and she is
Elise
inside.
makes a nice pass.
And she is able to make the pass, but she left the door open for Matthew to come back, coming into the straightaway. And that failed
Look
pass
at
opened
Joey.
the door
Joey's
for Joe.
up in there. Joey makes a nice pass. Shout out to Joe. That was a really nice pass.
That goes to show you, if you don't finish the pass, you open the door for everybody behind you.
Yeah, Lisa's going to try to get it back. Joe holds the inside.
And now Brad has passed
Brad
Elise.
snuck in there. This
On
is
the
what
last
we came to
lap.
see.
What a race. There was so much movement going on.
Oh my gosh, it's over. I was so into it, I didn't notice.
They're going to let him keep running, apparently.
What are we missing here?
I have no idea what we missed, but let him drive. I'm all for it.
Oh, I missed. Well, it's not over. White flag's coming out. Manually score this one.
Now the white flag's in the air. That's a whole new statement to have at it, boys, huh?
Yeah. I hope we're writing down the scores.
Looks like Dakota's over there with his iPad.
Dakota's
keeping track
working
of
on it.
everything.
That was some great racing. We'll have those results for you as soon as we get it worked out.
So not a lot of movement after we lost our scoreboard there. So as it sits now, Alex, Jason, Matthew, Austin, Joe, Brad, Elise, Colin, and Kyle round out that pre-final, but I definitely think there's going to be some conversations about a couple of the passes during that pre-final. Matt, the pickle, is not happy.
Yeah.
Coming off the track.
That was the best racing that I've seen all weekend right there. Hopefully it all sticks.
A lot of action, but Kevin and Eric are back there discussing everything going on, got the notebook out.
Yeah, the pickle is
Mad.
definitely fuming.
Well, it's finals day.
It is finals.
The emotions were definitely going to ramp up today.
You can't hold anything back today.
Absolutely not. Reminds me of the water boy. And
Yeah.
like I said, you can't hold
I
anything
thought
back.
of that too. Yeah. On the Ocho here. Another movie there.
Well, they're doing more than dodging wrenches and balls out there today.
Yeah. If we're gonna do the Ocho, what was that? Dodgeball. I want to be Cotton. No wait. You be Cotton.
I'll be Cotton.
Yeah, you be Cotton.
I wanted to be the guy with the funny hair. That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah. That Jason Bateman, he was great in that, wasn't he? And that guy can pull down some funny stuff.
Oh, definitely.
All right, well, we'll get an official call on this once everybody gets it figured out.
Well, it looks like Colin is having a conversation with them right now. A little animated.
Yeah, there you go. If you can dodge a cart, you can dodge a ball.
Hey.
There you go. I love it.
See, nothing like getting the crowd involved in it.
Good job, Packy. That's a comment out of the chat room.
Let me see that.
Patches O'Houlihan out there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my new racer name.
Patches O'Houlihan.
Patches O'Houlihan. Yeah. Yeah. I like to change it up.
Pete
once
the
in a while.
Pirate sounds pretty fun too. Arr.
Arr, yeah, there you go. Pete the Pirate's out there.
Who am I going to get to split this booty with? Arr, Peter.
Yeah. I think he said we're going to eat to lunch. Going to lunch.
It looked like he said eat, but it looks like we're going to do an interview with Nick from R1. They are helping out our production crew this weekend, catching some B-roll footage, doing driver interviews. So it'll be good to talk with them and give us the opportunity to thank them for helping us out, because there's always a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that allows us to put on this production, to give great footage for everybody afterwards. He walked by me, so we're just going to let him continue that and see where he went.
Are they ready to calling up to the tower? Are you ready for the interview?
Oh, now he's got to go find him.
All right. Hey, speaking of racer names, what's your racer name?
Tomcat.
Tomcat. I like it.
That was my nickname when I was in the Air Force. Wasn't as cool, but I always got the Tomcat. Meow.
Nice,
So,
nice. That's good.
All right, Nick is here. Let's go ahead and make a Nick sandwich.
Hey, come on in.
Got a seat right here, one
doing?
pre-warmed
Good,
for
good.
you.
What's your racer name? We got to get our racer names out here.
We're representing Brandon for R1 today.
No, I mean your
your
personal
my
racer name.
Oh, I don't race, Gents. No way.
Oh,
Do I
okay.
have a racing alias?
Yeah,
Make one up. If you had one, what would it be?
and you can't say Ricky Bobby.
No, we have like a
I was
million
gonna
of those.
go. McQueen was the next where I was gonna Speedy McQueen, but
Ah,
gotta
that's
be
a good
Brandon.
one.
That's not bad.
That's a good
Speedy
one.
McQueen. But hold on, which McQueen are we talking about? Steve or Lightning?
Whoever's fastest.
I'll
Well,
give you that.
Lightning, probably
Well,
Lightning.
who's a real person? That would probably be the one.
Steve is the real person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, we got an official here. Okay, so there's a couple reviews from that last race. Nothing's going to be official, so they're going to review it after the next pre-final. But Nick, you've been here helping out our production all weekend, so let us know what you guys got going on. Tell us about R1, what you guys got going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I mean, we're helping out with you gents, getting all the good coverage of this awesome event. It's been fantastic. I'm here with my videographer, Zach, as well, who's behind the camera right now a little bit there. But yeah, we're representing Brandon. We're here to support him on behalf of R1, located in Rhode Island, in Lincoln. Yeah, we're an all-encompassing entertainment center, axe throwing, racing on karts. We got Time Mission, which is a mission room concept. And then we got an arcade and Dart City as well. So just getting some publicity of that and just making sure Brandon's comfortable and has the best chance to win the race here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't been to your facility there, but
Yeah, come on by.
Pete from Merton and I spent some time together in Europe,
Yeah,
and your mission room,
yeah,
I saw that concept in Europe called Prison Island,
yeah.
and there's, what, 12 rooms?
Yeah, we're expanding it out. I mean, we're always building new rooms.
And
We
each
got-
room has a different game that you have to solve in it.
Yeah, we got.
It's
yeah.
not like escape rooms. It's
No.
much cooler, I think.
It's like taking escape rooms and then just putting it to max and just trying to see how far we can take it. You know, we got a bunch of different rooms for different types of people. You know, we got adventure based in the sense of like, you know, you could be swinging on a rope next second. You could be, figuring out a puzzle in your head the next second, or throwing something at something. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of something for everyone, and we're constantly building and innovating on it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I think you're going to expand it around the country.
Yeah, we're working right now to open up multiple locations across the U.S.
You're working on your third one now?
We are working on our third with plans for up to 10 to 20 over, next period of a year or 2 years or something like that.
Nice.
But we're ramping up hard.
And
Yeah.
who is the developer of your kart centers?
In the sense of,
The original, is it Mike Heseman?
yes, yeah.
I know Mike. Mike's a good dude.
Mike's a great guy.
He tells the best stories.
He's got a lot of stories. I mean, all of his time in F1, you can only imagine just all the experiences. He's always traveling around, and he stops in our Rhode Island office in Cranston, and he helps out the team all the time. And yeah, he's a great guy to have around, whether that's for morale or just having that racer knowledge, and then implementing that into our karting scene.
Has he ever told you about the day they first opened over there in in Holland, I think it is.
I don't think so. I'm aware of his facility, but
You need to talk to him about
Okay.
it. He's telling me this story about his karting center up until a couple years ago had K barriers, the steel
wow.
K barriers
Yeah.
around the track. And I was like, dude, what happens when they hit it? He goes, oh, they only hit it once. And he'll have him tell you the story about the first day they opened. Probably shouldn't talk about this with karting, but it was years ago, 25 years ago probably. Every ambulance in the city they used, and they had to pay the drivers to go to different hospitals.
Oh.
So it's an amazing story. He tells it so well.
All right. We'll keep that for behind closed doors.
No, you got to hear it. It's great.
That's
All right, Nick.
All right, so they got the karts warming up, taking their lap.
Well, Nick, we appreciate you coming out, talking with us, helping us out.
Thanks so much,
But
guys.
yeah, it's more than appreciated.
Yeah, of course. You guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. Thank you so much for the time.
Not a problem. Thanks,
Excellent.
Nick.
Thank you so much, man.
Hey, good talking to you.
You too.
All right, guys, we have the A pre-final pulling out on the track, and the lineup is Tony Patterson, Aaron Ramos, Caleb Costco, Jonathan Rumpel, Nate Groh, Teddy Oates, Brandon Pavo, CJ Arabia, and Aiden LaBelle. Over on Monaco, Aiden went out for his final and held his own. Took a beating, but held his own, never gave an inch.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. We're getting him lined up. And then we're going to get clearance from Clarence.
Hey, they was winger. All right, we are waiting on the officials to get everybody gridded.
Get our flagmen back to post.
They missed putting viewpoint cameras on 2 of the carts, so in case anything went wrong and they didn't have those cameras, we would not be able to make a educated decision.
Yeah, Viewpoint, one of our great sponsors.
100%. Oh, the leader, one of the most important ones to have it on.
I'm predicting this is the one we're going to see where they don't duck in for second and try to go for it.
Yeah, 100%.
I could be wrong. Yesterday I got it right. The one race I called, I said,
Well, you bought your lottery tickets.
I said nobody's gonna yield on that
And
first
since
turn.
you haven't checked the lottery tickets, you don't want to be right again because you may use all your
I know.
luck
I
up.
don't want to use my luck up. Oh wait, the lottery's tonight. I
Don't-
couldn't have won last night. So it's Saturday.
Well,
So I'm gonna go buy some more tickets on my way home.
if you don't use your luck up on this one.
Yeah, I'm
If
not
you're
using
right,
my luck
don't
up.
do it.
I think I'll just be quiet.
Yeah, I learned my lesson last year. I'm just
Oh, Red Dragon is my racer name.
Red Dragon.
Yeah, you ever watched the movie Red Dragon?
Can't say that I have.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
It's a version of that. The guy has the best tattoo on his back of Red Dragon.
Yeah.
It's I'm saving up for it. $5,000 is the quote I got.
I've had 3 racer names in my time. It started out as Wreck-It Ralph because if you didn't want to move, I was going to move you.
Yeah.
Then it became Baby Powder for reasons
Oh,
that
I
shall
like that.
remain unspoken.
Yeah.
And then it wound up on Tomcat just because I became IT director, and I was like, I'm going to change my own racer name because I'm
Nice,
tired of this Baby
nice.
Powder nonsense.
Yeah, I was Bubba Zanetti before, which is a Mad Max character
Yep.
from the original Mad Max. Nobody knows what it is. You know, if somebody goes, "Oh, Bubba Zanetti, that's cool," I know that they're my age for one. You know, they got to be around 60 years old to know what that is.
All right, it looks like we have everybody gridded up, ready to go.
Going for the lights. I do want the beep, beep, beeps next year.
We'll just air horn it from the table here. As soon as the light goes out, blow it. Beep, 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 beep. It's a little delayed on the last one.
Yesterday, the crowd got into it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's
No,
too serious.
I was wrong. They did take a duck in. Went for the lead right off the bat. Side-by-side racing towards the back of the crowd. Makes 2 passes. Part 1 moved up 2 spots, I believe.
Tony's in really good position coming into today, points-wise. If he can maintain his position, maybe lose one, but not have anything catastrophic happen, I think he's in a really good position to close out the day as the champion and be the first hometown champion we've ever had.
Yeah, that would be a definite first. Hayden's mom's giving him a shout out. Mom loves you. That's awesome. Ooh. Got some noise out there.
Jonathan's caught up to Caleb's applying pressure.
Teddy's putting in a nice run. Third, fourth, and fifth are very close.
Teddy really needs to start making some moves to close that point gap to Tony.
Yeah.
The same with Caleb. He can't just sit there. He's got to catch Aaron, get a pass, try and close that gap, and hope something goes wrong with Tony's cart. Because right now it looks like Tony is going to be walking away. If he stays in this position, that's just more points that he's adding to his total over in the W column.
Oh, I don't know. Look how close this is. When Aaron's 0.2 faster, it's going to be tough. Aaron's able to move inside and outside on those corners and make some time. Almost. Setting him up. Going wide.
Now he knows
coming
he's
back
there.
Fast. Yep. Tony's running a defensive line, which allows
what a
Aaron
run
to get outside and make it fast. I don't know, but I think Aaron might have this one. Tony is completely a defensive line and 0.2 slower. Oh, third place is sneaking in there. Caleb is catching up. And Caleb must have heard you.
Oh, yeah. I think the whole field knows it's now or never.
Yeah, this is the closest top 5 I've seen. All right, he's going outside. There goes.
Oh,
inside.
what a move by Aaron.
Holding it.
Aaron is not.
Oh, no.
Drove him into the chicane.
Wow.
Caleb moves up a position.
That moves Caleb up.
Aaron took a massive impact.
Yeah, Aaron really hit that wall.
And another massive impact.
Another run
Caleb,
for the lead.
Caleb is applying the pressure. There's just action all over the track.
Yeah, Tony's really going to have to hold on to this one. 4 laps left.
There's going to be a ton of reviews out of this race.
Yeah, we might have to take a lunch break.
Definitely. That was 2 laps of pain that's going to have to be reviewed.
Yeah, Caleb's going to need to run that outside line coming down this fast straightaway, then cut back in.
And
All
Caleb
go to
is
the
right
go
there
to
on
the
the
right.
bumper.
There he goes. He's setting up for it. Not going to be able to get there.
Aaron
Tony's
is caught
doing
back
the
up.
right thing, running in the middle. Don't give him room on either side. I think Tony's going to hold on to it. It's all going to happen in this corner right here.
They're coming to the white flag. They have to make a move if they want to make it. Tony is running a defensive line, taking
right.
the punishment for it.
It's so hard to not push into that corner on the last lap. Have some restraint. Oh!
There it is. Caleb tried to make a move, just not in time. So it's Tony, Caleb,
Wow.
Aaron, Jonathan, Nate, Teddy, CJ, Brandon, and Aiden. But there are going to be a lot of reviews that came out of that race. Aaron got his bell rung and was still able to catch up.
Wow, that was intense.
You could tell Aaron took a hard hit. It took him about a half a lap, shook his head a couple times just to get his bearings straight.
Yeah, I think everybody will feel like that was real racing.
Absolutely.
They might not be happy with the exact outcome, but no doubt that was the most intense race we've seen.
Yeah, I do feel like this is a personal feeling, but Aaron is going to end up getting that position because of the fact that he was pinched off in the corner.
Right.
He wasn't given the room, but I'm not an official. We will let them make that determination, but 2 races in a row that there's a lot that they're going to have to look at.
I feel like that was a pretty dominant position, unofficially.
Unofficially.
I'm unofficially saying
That's
that.
the unofficially
so don't hold
official
it to me.
statement.
Hold me to it.
Okay, right now 25 will be scored behind cart 12. So
the leader moved down to third. And that
yeah,
would give
that's
Aaron
what they just said. So
Caleb the win. We're going to see.
So we will wait for the official word, but they did say that 25 will be scored behind 12, which puts Caleb in first place. Still unofficial.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what happened with Tony that would cause that, other than maybe the situation with Aaron getting driven.
Off. You know, and from where we're at, we're exactly opposite of the track. You can't see if the dominant. I felt like the 12 had dominant position.
Oh, absolutely. I feel so bad because he took a hit.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
I know
that's really going to juggle up the points.
Yeah, I know the fans, hometown hero here, they're not going to be happy if that does become the official result. 25 behind 12. That is a lot of points.
Yeah.
Given up to Caleb, who's in the running, Aaron, who's very close behind him. This is going to shake things up, folks. Yeah. And that was the A pre-final, so we still have both finals left. After the officials are able to review everything, they're going to line up the finals based on points after their reviews. So I think now would be a good time for us to take a break, give the officials the opportunity to talk things over, review video, figure everything out. So
they're all smiles so far, so we'll see how it goes after the
I don't know how you could smile. I don't think I would have all of my teeth or my tongue. Hopefully he wasn't like me. I drive with my tongue out and bite your tongue off taking that corner that way.
Yeah. Unofficially, we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
That's the best way of putting it.
We're looking at each other in the booth there when he told us that. We're looking at it like, okay. I want to see how it shakes out, but that's why we're not the officials and we're not out there on that corner.
Exactly.
I did feel like there was a dominant position situation there, and that definitely was a hit.
Yeah, and Aaron was inside coming into the first part of the chicane, gave Tony room in the middle of the chicane, and I don't feel like Tony returned the favor on the exit of the chicane.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. You know, you're going to want to go for it in the finals, as we have already said, but you want to keep it fair. You want to give each other some room to race. You know, I don't think anybody wants to go home thinking they didn't have a fair shot.
So we are, again, officials are discussing everything. We are going to go to a commercial break, so stay with us while we're trying to get all of our point situations and position situations figured out. But we will be right back. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the final day of the American E-Kart Championship 2023.
If you're looking for the ultimate getaway without going away, then race to Pole Position Raceway. It's the perfect place for kids, teens, and adults. Pole Position Raceway. Real, fast, fun.
E. Cheers.
With the fastest indoor electric go-karts in the tri-state area,
state-of-the-art axe throwing,
A large selection of arcade games,
and a delicious bar and grill experience.
3 Arcade is your #1 spot for adrenaline-pumping thrills.
We're here and ready to go, so come on out and join us for some fun.
and be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss out on any of the action.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, this is Elio Castro Neves, and look, I'm so excited to be here, be able to talking to you guys about it. This year was an amazing year, accomplished the number 4th Indy 500 win, which has been historic, obviously. So many years of waiting, only 4 guys in the entire planet were able to accomplish this feat, which I'm so happy and honored and humble as well to be able to achieve that. And I wouldn't be able to do it with a phenomenal team behind me. And that's where I want to really make sure people understand. It's not only about the crew, it's not about the mechanics, the engineers, but also the family, the sponsors, the people, the friends, and the competitors as well, because they make you better. And that's why it's great starting go-karts, because go-karts always give you that kind of a mentality, that school that you're thinking about right at the beginning of your career. What do you want to do? What you want to accomplish? Yes, results is very important, of course, but the results come with dedication, with hard work, and passion. You can't achieve your goals if you don't love what you do. And that's why, the American E-Kart Championship, it's super cool. And I tell you what, let me mention about $10,000 for the first prize. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. I don't remember when I used to race to have that kind of incentives. My dad would be really happy about that. But at the end of the day, the prize, it's all about the results of your hard work. You gotta dream. You gotta think about it, because you gotta have that mentality and the visualization that you're gonna get that. However, for you to get there, you gotta make sure you start way back there. Start hustling, start pushing it, and give yourself to that. So, my word of advice, keep it going, dedicate, have passion. With all of that, you're gonna accomplish your goals. By the way, go to AmericanEkart.com to check it out, all the stuff that you guys needed. And again, all the best, have fun, good luck.
Is Ellis Spezia, and I am here in the final round of the Next Gen Cup Electric Championship in Sweden. And all of you guys are in Chicago, the exact same place that I was on the grid for AEKC in 2019. And I'm sure there are quite a few drivers that were as young as I am stepping into the racing from October 11th to 14th. And I wish you all the best of luck. And I hope to see the fastest of that grid on a championship like this sometime in the near future. So to the drivers that are especially on the younger side like I was, have fun, absolutely send it. And I'll be following along super close as you guys get through your racing. And I wish you all the best of luck and have an awesome few days on track at Accelerate Indoor Speedway.
If you're looking for the ultimate getaway without going away, then race to Pole Position Raceway. It's the perfect place for kids, teens, and adults. Pole Position Raceway. Real, fast, fun.
E. Cheers.
Yay!
With the fastest indoor electric go-karts in the tri-state area,
State-of-the-art axe throwing,
A large selection of arcade games.
and a delicious bar and grill experience.
3 Arcade is your #1 spot for adrenaline-pumping thrills.
We're here and ready to go, so come on out and join us for some fun.
and be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss out on any of the action.
We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Of the last race, which was currently under review. But while we're doing that, I am here with Kim, who is the Vice President of Marketing with the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thanks for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So, we have brought the American E-Kart Championship back to Mokina. We moved it last year, brought it back. What do these type of events mean for the CVB?
Well, for the CVB and for the entire Chicago Southland, when events like this take place in our area, not only do we have the people coming here to this facility, but we have hotel rooms that are booked. And when people come to stay in a hotel in our area, they pay the hotel room rate, there's a tax, so it's a benefit and an economic impact to the entire area. But not only are they staying in our hotels, but they're eating in our restaurants, or they're buying souvenirs at shopping, or they're doing activities and attractions while they're here. So anytime we can bring outside dollars in, it's a positive impact for Mokina and the entire Chicago Southland area. And when I walked in today, I saw license plates from Minnesota, from Wisconsin, from California, Iowa, and that's really what I like to see. That means outside dollars are here in the Chicago Southland, and when people come and visit and they have a good experience, they're more likely to come back. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think coming back this year, Chicago was host to the NASCAR road race. So, Chicago's always had a racing culture. So doing more events like these brings in a really great fan base. Coming into the Chicago Southland, for viewers that aren't from here, what areas do you cover?
We cover 60 municipalities, or I should say communities, from Midway Airport south to Peatone, east to the Indiana border, west out to Lamont. And so those 60 communities collectively, well, they're all small in size, but together we are strong as Chicago Southland, and we have a lot to offer, whether it's arts and culture, festivals and events, forest preserves, hiking, biking, and facilities like this, Accelerate Indoor Speedway events right here in Mokina.
Awesome, awesome. And for maybe anybody listening in, businesses that maybe aren't part of this CVB, what are some reasons to encourage them to join and be part of your group?
Well, for events coming in, we are a free service, but we have a lot of partners that support us with membership. And we produce brochures that are in all the hotel rooms and websites, and we have an app, and we do work to help fill these businesses. And right now we have a special grant from Cook County, even though this is in Will County, but a lot of our territory is Cook County, and we're able to help promote and try to bring those businesses back to a recovery level after COVID. So we are constantly out there working, promoting, pushing content on social media and brochures and getting people to come to the area so they can get represented by being part of us.
Yeah, and I can tell you we've been part of the CVB since we started, and we've done a ton of events with you guys. You've really helped us promote events like the AEKC when we're bringing things in. So I encourage anybody that's doing an event or looking to get their business promoted to really reach out with you guys and get the conversation started. Is there anything else you'd like to let anybody know before we head back to commercial?
No, but really the one thing, I'm just so excited to be here and excited to see the racing today, so thank you for having us.
You came at the right time. We're on a little pause now, but we got a couple races left, and we're going to hand out a $10,000 check, so I hope you'll stick around.
I will, thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And we'll be back soon. As soon as the review is done of the final race, we'll have those results, and we will continue racing, so thank you. All right, thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
All right, guys, we're back for a brief moment. We've got a number of things that the WKA officials are looking at right now. Got some concern about a few things, at least to the best of my knowledge, after talking with Kevin and Eric. I know we had coming into the back chicane, Aaron and Tony coming in side by side, and Aaron ended up into the wall in the back part of the chicane, and they just want to make sure who had position established. Was there room for both drivers? Did drivers need to make room for each other? I am aware that there may be something between, at that point, third and fourth, between Teddy and Aaron. We're waiting to hear back on that right now, but we apologize for the delay here, guys. Officials definitely want to get this right, especially heading into the finals. We need to make sure that positions are clean, points are accurate, because there are definitely some big points implications here since we're dealing with some of our racers at the top of our A pre-final. Once we get finished up with that here, guys, we're going to be looking to get these finals started. Once we get the word from Eric and Kevin with WKA, and once our points team here has the opportunity to adjust and make sure everything's looking good, pull out the live stream here, see what we've got going on. Want to make sure everybody's up to date here. Check in with some of the comments. Seen a lot of love earlier today and continuing in through the early part of the afternoon here at Accelerate in Mokina. A lot of shouting out for Elise, Caleb. We have had some incredible racing here today, guys, already so far. Obviously, stakes are a little bit higher. We've got some money on the line as we come into these finals here. Really tight race at the top, obviously. Tony coming into the day, leading in points. We will hopefully get an update for you here as we move through the afternoon and closer to the end to see what these implications might mean. Seeing a lot of comments about the good sportsmanship here that we've seen from these drivers. Myself and the rest of the leadership team here had that same comment here earlier this morning. We're definitely seeing a fantastic amount of sportsmanship, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of tight racing where you have both drivers engaged in a little rubbing and little contact, and coming out and really just congratulating each other on what great racing we've had so far in this tournament, today included. Have seen tempers pick up a little bit depending on who you are in certain races here today. We'll see if those tempers flare up here in the afternoon. We've talked about it all weekend. Once money is on the line, we are going to be looking for, obviously from our perspective, we would love to see that camaraderie, that great sportsmanship continue, but time will tell. Time will certainly tell. We're looking forward to Daryl getting the pickle costume out here for the finals. We'll see if we can talk him back into that before he returns it. He said he kept the tag on it, kept the receipt. Hopefully no Walmart corporate is watching the tournament here today. Good time to thank our sponsors here, guys. Club Speed, Kart 1, making sure that the karts are running at top performance, and that's also a testament to these pit crew members and mechanics here at Accelerate Indoor Speedway Mokina. And those karts supplied by Kart 1, running the new Super Legeros here. They've had the karts here at this location about 7 months, so we're going to have the best karts that we could have asked for coming into this tournament. Our competition director, Dakota Reed, saying that they were looking to get 26 karts in between 0.2 of a second of each other. We were able to do that. Kept the karts out of the public's hands for this weekend, which is something different. Normally dealing with arrive and drive racers and having to pick up after that before the beginning of the day. That's been a welcome addition here. We'll see if we can keep that going into the future. And obviously I mentioned club speed, making sure that our timing system is working properly, taking times in here within 1,000th of a second. So that's been fantastic during qualifying. Thousandths of seconds have been playing a role here. And then as we get into the position racing here today, just making sure that as cars come across the line that we have the most accurate information for you guys. And so we appreciate them. Obviously Proforma, who is supplying all of the racers' shirts, all of our shirts here today, which has been fantastic. I want to thank Gallagher Insurance, our insurance sponsor here, Apparels Mart, who's been great supplying head socks here to all the Autobahn locations. And we're going to be able to see probably Apparels Mart after this tournament here, making a bigger role in some of these other tracks. Seeing some of the leadership team just patiently waiting for our WKA officials to finish up their deliberation. Obviously, my role here at the moment is to explain that to you guys. Like I said, we've got 2, maybe 3 people we're looking at to see if we have to hand out any penalties. We've got Donald outside the camera looking in. Makes me nervous. Making me nervous. Do you have information I don't, Donald? People want to know. People want to know. Where's Kevin? Where's Eric? He says they're almost done. We appreciate your guys' patience. I know it's tough, especially if you're watching from home, anxiously waiting to see the response from the WKA here. Donald has told me that they're close to deliberation, finishing up here, just dotting some I's, crossing some T's. Okay, they are on the final video that we were looking at. I believe, don't quote me here, because I was working the camera here in the last race, but it's my understanding that they have deliberated the initial impact between Tony and Aaron, so we'll be waiting to hear word out on that. I think we're looking at something later in the field. We might have a racer coming in here. I see him. Jason Anderson said he was bored, wanted to hop into the booth. Jason, welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. No, welcome to you. What do you think about the competition so far? Obviously, it has been getting a little chippy out there today. You've obviously been one of our top performers this week. What are you seeing out there from all the competitors?
It definitely is a mental capacity to keep up with everyone, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just mainly like physical endurance, but it's definitely not. It's definitely a whole different mental state that you need.
Yeah, we saw that in the rule book here this year. We got our copy of the rule book, and that was one of the big mentions was we're doing 16 races in qualifying. Thursday we're doing 16 position races on Friday, 8 on each track. Lighter load today technically in terms of racing, but the stakes are way higher.
Way higher.
Obviously, there's some white knuckle driving out there, and we've seen the WKA, all of our officials, having to make a few more calls today. Ooh, Dakota's out. We might have.
Call.
We're gonna wait to hear about this. Probably gonna take a minute here as we get the finals prepped up and ready to go.
Someone right now for it.
Gotta.
Looks like calling that they're taking for kind of perspective. It looks like, I don't know.
Sure. It's tough to say from this spot in the booth. It's tough to say what's going on there, but they're grabbing word from Donald, grabbing a couple of racers, bringing them in. That's going to be either for perspective, like you said, or they may need to explain some penalties that are going to be handed out. But once we get all of that information official from WKA and update those positions from the last race, that's going to give us our standings here going into the finals here on Le Mans. But
from a racer perspective, it definitely was an intense battle. Even though I wasn't even in it, it definitely was very intense. Just even watching it.
I don't know how else to describe it. I tell you what,
a couple hits.
I was on the camera in that back corner, and I saw Aaron go into the wall, and I felt the pain.
I felt.
Of
I
that.
was gonna say it looked like whoever. Like you said, I think it was you in the camera or back there, and I saw you flinch a couple things too.
How could you not? How could you not? You get a cart picking up close to 45 miles an hour and go right into the wall. You hear it. And in reality, I wasn't facing that way, so it came out of nowhere for me. But My goodness.
Yeah, just even from a racer's perspective, just knowing how it feels, even like when you're in that car and you smash into one of these barriers, it definitely hurts.
Oh yeah.
And especially if the wheel sometimes gets ripped out of your hand, so it's not even just your body that gets hurt. It's sometimes if your helmet gets shifted just enough, and even your hands get really sore.
I think a lot of general public may hear go-karting and think, oh, go-karting's for kids. These karts don't go very fast, but I think you can definitely attest to the fact that these are high-performance racing machines, almost as close to driving cars as you can get. And just that same way, if you're going 40 miles an hour and going to the wall, you might as well have been in a car accident.
Yeah, it definitely hurts. I mean, like you said, these karts, they're very high performance. They're not, ease into this kind of stuff. Even these racers, they definitely have the potential to keep those karts at that high speed. And when you're at the high speed going full force into a barrier, that's where it comes in.
Yeah, obviously the intention is to eliminate as many impacts as possible, but obviously we got Aaron and Tony battling for first place in an already contentious battle in overall points, and that can happen. That can happen as racers start to get aggressive and start to try to establish those dominant positions coming into turns. You got to make sure that there's room left for each other. Obviously, not enough room there left for Aaron. We've got Donald again. He's a distraction, but we appreciate him.
We really do.
Donald,
I appreciate everyone here. They're definitely doing an amazing job. Staff is definitely keeping us well warm.
Yeah, that's going to be a big combination of a lot of things. Obviously, Audubon's leadership team here, Donald as a commissioner, and the individual staff members here at Accelerate. One thing that I noticed, and I'm sure you noticed that too, throughout the practice, it seems like even just the staff that works here on a regular basis seems to know all the racers on a first-name basis, able to have those conversations with you guys and make sure that it's an enjoyable experience for everyone.
It definitely, it was weird coming into here thinking that it was a big time thing, but these racers, they definitely warmed up to each other real quick.
All right, well, word here from Justin is that the B pre-final, the first race that we had here, the results of that race are going to stand as we saw them. No changes there.
Good, that's a good second for me.
That's good news for Jason. Jason appreciates that report coming through. Obviously, still waiting on the A finals here, which we knew as the officials went into the deliberation room to review some film and talk amongst themselves and some of the other drivers. This was going to take a while.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot to look at in this race, and I think because it is so contentious at the top, it is important that the WKA gets this as right as possible in their eyes. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what comes of that.
And try to make it as fair as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
It's not. Everyone's not going to always be happy, but it's definitely as fair as they possibly can.
That's the tough thing about it. Obviously, everybody has their own opinion about what they're seeing. I know people watching at home on the live stream. They have their own opinions formulated. We've got parents, spectators, other racers out here. We have racers on the track, racers involved. Everybody with their own opinion on what they saw out there.
Yeah.
And, we have the protest opportunity in there depending on what the WKA reports, but
hopefully it's not as bad as last year.
No, it hasn't been. It hasn't been with the increased required payment. Has made it.
That was a major increase.
It's really what. Obviously, the intention of that is really to make sure that you're putting in protests if you're positive that there's something to look at, and not just being able to say, "Hey, I've got an extra $40. Let's throw it out there and see what happens," which is what we got out of that last year. So.
I mean, even $250. I mean, that right there is 5 protests from even last year.
Absolutely.
And you can protest multiple times. It doesn't have to be just one time
That's right.
throughout the night.
That's right.
So it definitely was a good thing that you're making sure that you want to protest because you know you're in the right, not just because I want to protest to see if I can get an extra point.
Right, and we've seen that has been common. Up to this point, we've only had one protest, actually a successful protest.
Gotcha.
That came through, started last night, came through this morning. We talked about that briefly this morning. Caleb Costco from Overdrive losing 3 positions this morning as a result of that protest.
I think he got back up there, though.
He did.
He definitely got back up there, even with the fastest time on that last race.
He's had a positive day today. Obviously, he came across the line in second in that last pre-final. We'll see if those results stand. Obviously, that's what we're waiting for. Want to make sure that all the passing was appropriate, and if it wasn't, We'll see how those penalties get doled out.
Let's hope.
Guys, we're going to take a short break here while we wait for the officials to finish deliberating. Obviously, like we said, racers have been brought into the officials' room, so we should hear about those momentarily. We appreciate you guys sticking with us, and we'll see you in a second.
Well, hey, stay with them.
Ooh, they're like banging this thing around.
Okay.
Are we ready?
I think so.
I think
There
we're
you go.
live. We're good. Let's go. Take off, Justin.
All right, so we had a long wait, a fairly controversial call. Not really controversial, but an impactful call. There was a penalty assessed against Tony in the last race, which put him in that pre-final in third place, which also moved him down into third place for the A final. So there's a lot of points that were given up there. Alex Passerino moves up into pole position. Eric Luke Ramos on outside. Tony Patterson in third. Caleb Coscove in fourth. Jason Anderson in fifth. Matthew Pickle in sixth. Jonathan Rumpel in seventh. Austin Partolo in eighth. And Nate Groh in ninth. That is your A heat, but we will be rolling out with the B final first. And in that B final, we have Teddy Oates, Elise Piety, Colin Grace, Brad Paquette, Joe Dombrowski, Brandon Pavo, CJ Arabia, Aiden LaBelle, and then Kyle Moore are going to be leading us off. But tensions are running high, as we figured, for $10,000.
Absolutely.
Coming into the finals, so.
That's a pretty big announcement.
It's a huge announcement.
It is a
How did it
massive.
go over? Everybody understand?
I don't.
Obviously,
There's not
some
really
people aren't
words.
going to be happy, you know, but
Yeah, there's not really words for how that went over. But overall, the hometown crowd is understandably upset. But it's very clear cut. Aaron had the position coming into the chicane, gave him a little bit of room in the middle of the chicane. Tony gave no room on the exit of the chicane and drove him into the corner. So
that's the way I saw it, and that's kind of what we called and talked about very unofficially. But
well, now officially.
That's official.
Yeah.
That is official. There's no room. I heard a lot of interest in potentially a protest, but as we've discussed amongst ourselves here, the officials have looked at every piece of video because the call was already so impactful. So no room for a protest here. All of the information has been handled by our WKA officials, and they have ruled that this is as it stands, and it has a dramatic impact here on the A final. But I think from our perspective, this is what we had figured was probably a big possibility.
Yeah.
Given what we saw out there, but
I agree.
We'll get the B heat out first, and we'll see how that impacts our A main just a little bit.
All right, Dylan Lee says here in the chat room that the camaraderie hits a high right before qualifying, slowly diminishes, and now it's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, $10,000 is a lot. There's a lot riding on that. You know, people could really use that money.
Yeah.
It's life changing to some folks.
Yep,
So
definitely.
Yeah, I think one of the big things we talk about this all the time in terms of racing, and you could probably speak to this, guys, is there's really not a cash prize like this out there outside of the professional level. This is as good as it gets, and I think another great part of it is these drivers they have to pay to get here in some cases, but you know, we're not using their own carts. They're not paying for parts on these carts, so this is compete and walk in and potentially walk away with $10,000.
Yeah, it's we talked about this earlier. It's the only Grand Prix style sport I know that you can do that.
Yes.
Where you can get in for basically the cost of racing in the league. If you don't even have your own helmet, we provide those at the centers, and you could end up walking away with a $10,000 check. And a possibility here of 10,000. What's the second prize? What's the prize in the heavy?
Yeah, it's
$700.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could be
Could be a
10,700.
two-check day for someone.
absolutely. And Nate is been having a strong showing.
Yeah, he takes up the ninth position in our A main here. That could make a huge impact here as we have these point shifts late. We'll see what those adjustments do here. We're actively getting points updates as we talk for the overall standings.
Yeah. Well, that is. I knew something was going to come of that, and I know that the judges made the right call. They wouldn't have taken a half an hour or 45 minutes to review everything if they were just going to make a off-the-flight call. So we appreciate that, and I hope everyone else does. there's going to be a winner and there's going to be losers in a situation like that. I hope that the people that came out on the downside of that can understand that in order to keep parity and fairness in the racing, that's the call that needed to be made.
Absolutely. So after a long pause, we are getting drivers in their karts. The karts are turned on. They will be rolling out onto the track here shortly.
I just heard a sigh of relief from Donald outside the booth here.
Not a sigh of relief.
Okay, a sigh, then we'll call it.
We still have 2 races left, and again, everything of the controversy that just happened exists in the A group, so they are still next up. Do you think it's going to be more heated because of what happened, or do you think they're going to calm down and try and stabilize their day and finish it strong?
I don't see a way this doesn't get more heated. I really don't. With Tony coming in with a very strong showing, poised to be at the top here early, that is how the race finished. In the A pre-final with Tony out front, so expecting a pole position here coming into the finals. I think he's going to sell out here to try to get back to that first place position.
I think all 3 of the top 3, even Caleb, they're all in a panic situation at this point. And I don't mean panic in a bad way, but there's going to be some, the movers and shakers are going to make it work, and hopefully it comes out fairly on the track. But you're going to see some definite movement.
Yeah, hopefully Tony's able to keep us cool, because the last thing he needs is to go out there and try and leave it all on the track, make another mistake, and dig his hole even deeper.
Absolutely. That's some of the things that a lot of these drivers have talked about, and why we've seen drivers lack that aggression that we might have seen in years past, as we've seen some of those drivers make an aggressive move, it doesn't work, and then they'll lose an additional or 2 positions from where they were at. Sometimes just better to hold your line.
I just spent some time talking to the Convention and Visitors Bureau over here, the people from the area in Mokina, and they had some really insight on everything that I didn't think about, which was nice talking to them. And they're looking at it from a hotel room reservation standpoint, and they did mention that they have a facility that here in town in about 3 years they might look at doing street kart races.
Wow.
So they're looking at Grand Prix style street kart racing, similar to like what Rock Island does, and I offered our group to help them move that along, and I think that's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. It's a good thing we got a few folks as part of the officiating team, the production team, got flights later this afternoon. I guess it's a good thing we all packed.
Yeah, no kidding. I had to check out of the hotel room this morning early before we came out here, so that's a decision that's going to pay off heavily here today.
All right, we're getting them lined up, getting the cameras on, making sure the carts are ready, resetting all the carts. We don't want any hitches in these last couple of races.
I definitely expect a very pointed conversation from the officials to that A final. Let them know that this is the expectation. This will not be tolerated. Have a clean race. Respect each other. But whether or not they listen is in their hands.
It's kind of nice to see that. In the mix-up here, you got some guys that have typically been starting in the back row, are a couple rows up this time. And I want to see how that goes. My driver, Joe, this is probably his best starting position of the whole event.
Yeah, I was going to mention that typically we have Joe sitting about seventh or eighth here, and he sits right now third lane inside fifth.
And that's a good spot.
It's an excellent spot. Another one to look at here is Brad Paquette, typically starting at the back of the field here in fourth, second row outside.
Yeah, I talked to Brad a little bit. He was pretty pumped about where he was going to end up. He most likely is going to take home the heavyweight, right?
Yeah, both of them in contention here with Kyle and Nate as opportunists to take home.
Is Nate in the
Nate,
A final?
Nate is he's not in the he's not in the final here, but he is in the heavy class.
Nate is in the A final.
I'm sorry, Nate is ninth in the A final.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to beat that one. Sorry,
Definitely.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you look at Nate and don't look at him as a heavy class driver. He is the lightest of the heavy class drivers. We'll see him in just a minute. Lights are out. Clean start so far.
All right, Joe was able to move up a spot. In the fourth.
CJ getting roughed up by
second.
Brandon.
Yeah, looks like Colin right on Elise's bumper, letting him know he's there. In the last few races, we've seen Teddy really pull away right off the bat here, and Elise not letting them get away so quickly. They're really tight, first, second, and third.
I think you're going to see her switch to that inside line that she likes to run. As soon as she gets enough gap that she doesn't have to worry about the third place racer Colin sneaking in there, she's going to switch to that line. It's going to be anybody's race at that point.
Everybody's really minding their manners in this race. Not a lot of action happening.
I think that's to be expected. I mean, this group has been racing together. Most of them have raced together earlier today, and obviously we've seen them all race together over the last few days. Very respectful group. A lot of great drivers in this one.
Starting to see a little bit of pressure by Brandon back there on CJ.
Like Brandon had given up that position early, and he's going to try to get that back here in the late half.
Now they're starting to stretch out a little bit. Heading into the second half of the race here, we're going to see some line changes and some last-ditch efforts to move up.
I tell you who's not stretching out is Elise. She is sitting right on Teddy's rear bumper, and she might be setting up for a pass here.
Yep, she's switched that inside line now. She's taking about 30 feet off on that corner alone. This is where you'll notice that she ducks over that inside. Tries to take as many feet off the track, make the track as short as possible.
Looks like she's still taking her time.
Now you see Brandon making a move on CJ. We've got him in the back straight, but it looked like CJ tried to shut the door on him.
Attention racers calling for Ryan, Melissa, Avery, Cade, Ty, Nate, Mark to the helmet area.
We're going to have 3 laps to go coming up here.
Looks like Teddy was able to pull away a little bit. Elise is not right there on the back bumper. She needs to get a little bit closer before she can attempt to move.
Gets through the switchback smooth. White flag's about ready to come out.
White flag this time by.
Opportunities are fading here. Let's see how this last 2 corners go.
I just think she's too far away to be able to make a move right now.
Yeah, I agree. She played it safe.
And that is how we're going to finish, with Teddy coming in first, Elise, Colin, Joe, Brad, CJ, Brandon, Aiden, and Kyle. So a pretty calm race after all of the chaos and controversy. So grateful that we don't have to have a lot of reviews come out of that one.
No, I can't imagine. It looked like we did have a couple of passes there. I know Aiden was able to get the best of Kyle back there, so he was able to move up a position. Saw CJ and Brandon going at it pretty heavily. Obviously, Elise and Teddy as well. But not a ton to talk about here in the late half of this one. That's been a common theme. We've seen most of the passes here with the exception of the last pre-final. Everything has happened very early on, and then just some respectful racing the rest of the way.
Definitely. So now is the very contentious A final.
Hold on to your hats for this one.
Exactly. There's gonna, hopefully not a lot of fireworks, but I'm expecting
I got thumbs
them.
up from the officials, so I think we're good.
Fantastic. That's a sight for sore eyes.
But the lineup for the A final: Alex, Aaron, Tony, Caleb, Jason, Matthew, Jonathan, Austin, Nate. Do you expect to see any aggressive moves from Jonathan, Austin, or Nate there at the back? Maybe even Matthew. I know he's been pretty aggressive at times.
Yeah, Matthew has been one of the more aggressive drivers as of late. And starting, let's see, starting in 6th, 3rd lane outside, it's going to be crucial, I think, for him to try to make a move as early as possible while they're all gridded up going into that first hairpin. When you're starting on the outside, obviously a little bit more difficult to gain position, but I think there's going to be enough going on up front to make sure that, you know, he may be able to slide up and take advantage, but it looks like Eric, one of our officials here, is pulling in this A final. And he's going to, as you talked about, Justin, well, conversation needs to be had. We'll see what that entails.
Anybody from the last final on the mall, please join Eric. Please join Eric at the side with you.
Giving him a final.
That was a previous race. He was just saying how he enjoyed their professionalism. You guys earned your spot here. You know, thank you for being awesome drivers. Sorry, I just
noticed you're all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
We'll battle wound here in the booth. I don't know what happened.
I missed
it. Doesn't matter.
I think we all missed it. I think even Justin missed it.
Oh, wow. He is bleeding.
Oh, my God. He's bleeding profusely.
We have a medic out there.
Yeah, we're gonna
I don't want to hear it. Slap some dirt on it.
What I am seeing here, though, we've got Brad. We've got, is that your driver, Joe, out there with,
That's Joe.
with Kevin Williams here? They're shaking hands, obviously a mutual respect between the WKA and these drivers here. We appreciate them. I know the drivers appreciate them as well. And like you said, Justin, and Eric made it clear there along with Kevin, they appreciate the professionalism of these drivers. This has probably been, it's only the 2nd year for the WKA here, but I think definitely a more professional group, a more conscious group of what is going on out on the track than we've had in years previous.
Yeah, Joe, I was talking to Joe and his family, and Joe is over there talking about where he's going to race his Ignite karts next. And he's trying to get in good with the guys that are going to be in Daytona.
You never know when you're going to see some of these guys again.
Yeah.
Got all of the drivers going to their karts.
I'm excited to see how this comes out.
Yeah, we know there's definitely some implications here from that last pre-final. We don't have overall points in front of us at the present moment. see if we can get those pulled up and take a look at what may need to happen for some of these drivers to move up as we finish up here. Last race of the day, last race of the tournament. And we're handing out some big checks shortly after.
So what happens if we end up with a tie? Then we go into the race-off. I would love to see it end at the race-off with the scoreboard.
Justin would love to see this end with him making his flight on time today.
Well, I don't care if I make my flight on time, but at the end of the day, I just don't want to.
Oh, there's the pickle.
This is the final race, right?
Sweet.
This is it.
My man Pickle is going to tear some stuff up.
Hold on. You got to stay here because you're not actually on camera, so I'm waiting for my production crew to get back so they can see that.
Yeah. Emil's coming. Oh, yeah. You're going to hang out.
The Pickle's going to stand here and
I was waiting for this to come out of
it.
I've been waiting all day for this.
I'm excited about it. The Pickle is going to do some damage right now. I'm telling you.
We don't need any damage. No damage.
Well, I mean, I think he's starting 6th.
He is.
He needs to gain some positions. It's all or nothing at this point.
Well, I think Mark said it just right. He's got to make sure he's got his helmet on straight and his goggles on good so he can see.
Stay focused. I told him to flip his visor thing upside down so it was more of a spoiler.
We're audio live, no video.
Audio live, no video?
Yeah, stay here until we get the video back.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Sergio, Kart 1, heading out. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Sergio, nice talking to you.
All right, later, Mark. Thank you. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
All the sponsors taking off again. The Pickle's going to sit here with us.
Why
don't you join us for the whole race?
I'll stay for the whole race if you guys allow me. I don't know.
We'll allow you.
This is a prestigious table here.
We appreciate that.
We need some rowdiness.
Well, you know, we are here to have some fun. This is a lot of money on the line, but you know, in the end of the day, we want to have some fun, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see Mark, you know, wear something next time.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
With
well,
me.
Joe needs
hey,
to have
mine's
a
pole
nickname.
position. What do you think I should wear?
Corn cob.
A corn cob?
A corn cob? Yeah.
That'd be good.
I mean,
Not from
Iowa proud.
I think that suits him well.
Iowa proud.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe we should ask the viewers to
pick your
have
costume.
them comment. I'm sure that'll go over well.
For us. I think it would go over well.
Yeah.
All right, while we're warming up, I think we're going to get the Pickle on here.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get you guys a points update here. We're watching it happen live. We're getting some points adjustments going on now. We're going to hang on, watch this race here. We know probably some implications coming, so we'll definitely update you guys with points as this race comes to a close.
Attention junior racers, time for Moises and Jesus.
Oh boy, I am excited and nervous at the same time for this one.
I am too.
I'm just feeling a little pickled, that's all.
Just a little pickled?
Just a little pickled about the whole thing here.
Well, things are about to go sideways. I'm about to say something slightly inappropriate. I'm going to hold that one to myself.
I appreciate that. I think the viewers at home appreciate it.
I think everybody knows where I was going.
We've been thinking it.
I'm attempting to, you know, I'm just trying to keep it PG-13.
We appreciate that.
This was definitely PG-13.
We've been towing the line of PG-13 with the pickle jokes all weekend long, ever since you started this, Daryl.
I apologize.
The best one was he was cutting through the field like bread and butter.
Oh, yeah, like bread and butter. I like the dill one, too.
I really can't remember who opened the jar on that.
I know who closed it.
That is a dad joke if I've ever heard one. Somebody's going to appreciate that.
I mean, this is a big deal here. So.
Oh, a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Thank you, Daryl.
So we're about to turn loose here, right, gentlemen?
Yeah,
hopefully
we're gridded up.
Open up that jar and get things rolling.
So do you think they're going to pull over to slide into second, or do you think they're going to go for it?
They're going for it.
I think they're going to go for it. I think you have to.
I think you have to. Definitely going to try to pickle his way right through there.
He's going to try to slice.
He's going to slice
through
right
the crowd.
Well, hopefully he doesn't put himself in a pickle.
No,
hopefully
we do
not.
want that.
One of the
because that would not be kosher.
Not.
I have a feeling that the sanctity of this last race has been completely ruined for everybody watching at home.
I'm just curious if the views have gone up or gone down.
They've gone down. I just saw it.
Oh,
Lights are on, lights are on, and lights are out. We've got a clean start from everybody on the track. We did see Aaron. He slid right over into second. Definitely want to protect that line. Tony doing the same thing, holding his line in third as Caleb was gunning for him. Oh, cart not moving immediately after the restart. Caution flag comes out. Uh-oh, that looks like that's going to be Nate Groh. He was starting in the rear of the field here.
There's 2 carts back there.
Yeah. I wonder if we just maybe got pinched into the wall. Looks like both carts operating properly here.
Yeah.
Who was jammed up there with him?
Probably have a full restart, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it was early. It was early in the race. I wouldn't be surprised if we just regrid and get started here.
Well, since they were moving, I'm not sure they're going to allow a regrid.
I have seen this happen once earlier. It is going to be up in the air here. Curious to see. We've got Kevin Williams out there.
That's Jason Anderson.
So Jason Anderson starting in 5th, inside of the 3rd row here. I'm taking a look here. It does look like they are going to regrid. I think they determined it was early enough. Obviously a big race. I think a single file restart might be.
That's not what the crowd wants to see.
No, it's not. Yeah, we're gonna regrid here. You know what I would be curious about it. It does look like Jason got to make his way back up into 3rd. That would have been my other concern. Do they move him to the back?
Hey, who's the admin on this? We got a guy in here that keeps posting over and over again. He's making it not good. We need to kick him out of there.
I'm sure Emil will take a look at that.
Could you,
check that out.
Don't click on any links that are coming up on.
Don't pickle on any links.
Yeah, we're not gonna click on that link, but we need to knock that guy out of the chat room. I hate to say.
All right, we are regridded. Eric is making his way back up to the F1 light. Our track marshal Justin Barnes making his way back up onto the flag stand.
Cleared those barriers like a glorious gazelle.
I see that. If you've ever wanted to know if your track personnel can do the 100-meter hurdles, my answer is yes.
We've got the light apparatus back up.
Lights are on. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't know.
Now they're just playing
Lights
with
are
us.
out. It looks like everybody's got a clean start here. We're going to watch this first hairpin closely. Oh, we got the pickle on the inside lane with Caleb Costco, but the door was closed there. Little spectators blocking us here. We'll see how they come out. Pickle may have been too aggressive here. He's dropped a spot into 7th.
He's been pretty good on picking up the positions coming down the straightaway.
Restart was not in his favor, that's for sure.
No,
Not at all.
It wasn't. He's got Austin right out in front of him, but he's letting him know he's there. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him try to take a position back. As the field comes across, it looks like it's going to stay for right now. We've got Alex from Autobahn out front, Aaron, Tony, Caleb, Jason, Austin, Matthew, Jonathan, and then Nate taking up the rear of the field.
Alex is currently turning the best lap.
We actually just had, I don't know what happened in that last hairpin, but a big gap has developed between 3rd and 4th. Tony, Aaron, and Alex out on their own.
The pickle puts the move on Austin. And Austin comes back. Austin was able to make the pass, almost opened the door for Jonathan to come in.
I was actually surprised. It looked like Jonathan was able to grab position, but ended up backing off as we entered the chicane.
They're keeping it relatively clean. Granted, we're only coming up on 6 laps in.
If I'm Caleb, I'm watching Jason. They've got a big gap, and Jason is closing quickly. with this group spreading out, I'm looking for Caleb to take a super defensive line. I think Tony's way too far out in front.
Austin and Matthew back there battling it out. The door's open for Jonathan. He's there. Can he complete the pass? He does. Matthew loses 2 positions. It looks like Nate was able to make the pass too. The pickle is in a pickle.
The pickle is definitely in a pickle right now.
I'm starting to think that Daryl in the pickle suit was maybe bad karma.
Bad
I don't
luck.
know.
Hey, he had some sweet moves there at the beginning, though.
Yes.
He did. Really, the only battle at the moment is Jason and Caleb. It looks like Caleb's been able to come free here. Alex has separated himself from Aaron. And Tony's close behind in third.
We're going to have 3 laps left. Apparently, Alex is hugging those turns like his favorite granny, and I think he's going to hold on to the win.
Yep.
That was a good one, Mark. I like that one.
I do too. I like my granny.
I don't know if we have any more. I don't know if we can physically do any more.
We know we got this, you could call it bad blood between Aaron and Tony from the last race. I'm curious, with 2 laps to go, if Tony's able to get close enough to make a move.
I think at the distance he's at now, any move that he makes is going to have to be a wildly illegal move to catch up. He's got to be close to be able to move.
Caleb and Jason have separated in 4th and 5th.
Coming up on white flag. It's time they come around.
All right, white flag is out. Alex with a pretty decisive lead here.
And Aaron about 3 car lengths in front of Tony. I think the top 3 are going to stand. Jonathan putting a lot of pressure on Austin back there.
That's the last race of the day. Why not? We got Jason putting a lot of pressure on Caleb coming into the final hairpin.
Alex pulls it through with the win in the A heat, or the A final.
Yeah, it looks like everything else is going to stand. Jonathan saw him put up a hand signal, felt like he was right there on Austin, not able to get it done.
So right now, unofficial results, Alex, Aaron, Tony, Caleb, Jason, Austin, Nathan, Jonathan, Nate, and Matthew.
Joe Nathan, that's
Joe
all.
Nathan, okay. Really clean heat there. Great driving by these guys.
We got a lot of our leadership team here, the track team. We got Kyle Moore out in the pit. They're giving a lot of love to these drivers. I saw Aaron actually come into the pit, no hands, to give 2 high fives at once and almost cost somebody a foot. Yeah, these guys are just excited. That was a great race there. Not nearly as aggressive as I might have thought it could have been, but we appreciate that.
I don't know if this event could have taken any more aggression after that
I don't
one.
think it could. I don't think I could take any more. I was stressed coming into that one.
Well, that is the last race, so we are going to wait on the officials to put together our final points. I'm going to have the sheet pulled up here, so as soon as I get the thumbs up from our officiating crew, we will let you know who we have and who is going to be crowned the 2023 American E-Kart Champion.
You think it's going to be Kyle?
I know it's not going to be the pickle, but hey, we're going to do it back to Picklesburg.
What were we doing back here?
Yeah, we need to get the pickle on the can. We need the pickle can, please.
Yeah.
Pickle
The
can,
pickle is
please.
going back in the can, and we're going back to Picklesburg. Try again next year.
Well, just make sure that you swing by Walmart, turn that pickle suit back in.
Stay right there.
Is the
'cause
tag
you're
still
coming
on
up.
it?
I don't know. Do you see it? Is it anywhere?
I got the tag. It's right there.
Is it?
It's right there. For $20, that's a pretty good deal. I like that.
Here's a pickle can.
I think I'm going to.
We're on the pickle can.
Daryl, say hi to the crowd.
Oh, hey everybody!
On the
How you
pickle
guys
cam.
doing? I think I'm going to put this suit in a enclosure and hang it up at Three Rivers Karting. So know,
I don't
give a
see
little
why you
tribute.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't see
know,
why you
right?
wouldn't.
The
I
best
think
20 bucks
everyone
I've
should
spent.
sign it.
Oh, that's an even better
Excellent
idea.
thought.
Have all the racers sign it.
That's a good
And
idea.
make sure you have the three of us sign
Hey,
it.
Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't know what that had to do with it, but you're right.
That means that I'm never right, so.
Oh,
you know.
well, there you go. You got a good idea every so often. I like it.
I think I'm going to do that.
I would.
I'm going to leave the tag on it too,
Grab
just so
a
everybody
marker.
knows.
Yeah, I'm sure the staff will give you a marker, get every driver to sign it.
Yeah, we're going to go work
Calling
on that
for
right
Thomas,
now.
Casper,
Awesome.
Justin.
Good
Thomas,
job,
Casper,
everybody.
Justin.
Thanks, Daryl.
Thank you, Daryl. Daryl, Three Rivers Karting, we appreciate you. We appreciate the pickle suit.
All right, AEKC Friends Family Racers need just a few minutes. We are going to do the announcements and the check presentations over by the checkerboard, which is over there by the restrooms. So if you want to take your time and make your way down there, we just need just a few minutes, get the checks filled out, verify everything, and we will make the announcements over there.
All right, folks, you heard that there. We are going to take a little bit of a break while the officials get the final points done. We are going to go get set up for the podium presentation. Appreciate you guys joining me here. It's been fun. Look forward to doing it next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take that watch. I said thank you for coming, and you were like, it's time to go.
Oh.
Listen, I enjoyed our time together. You know, Mark, I know you showed up late, but...
Yeah, hey, thanks.
We appreciated you.
Thanks for reminding me.
Well, you know, it's better late than never.
Yeah, and I could say, oh, and then you took half the day off, but I didn't.
Oh, I definitely took half the day off. I had a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Listen, I
James.
did the whole first day,
Well, I was,
start to finish,
I
while
was
you
in
were
the
out
combine.
farming.
Yeah, I was enjoying the indoor combine.
All right, everyone. So again, give us a little bit of time. We're going to go get set up over at the podium presentation. That way we can hand out this fantastically large $10,000 check to the winner and crown our 2023 American E-Kart Champion.